Venus, what's your age?
I'm 8 years old.
8 years old. And what does it mean for you being a punk?
What?
What does it mean to be a punk?
I don't know.
No?
I just like it. I like the music. I like the rhythm.
You like that?
Uh-huh.
You like being a punk, eh?
Do you like being a punk?
Yeah, it's fun to be, even though everybody makes fun of me at school.
Real blood coming from my nose right here. This is genuine blood. But anyway, I appreciate it.
Eigenlijk dacht ik dat het verschijnsel punk alweer bijna uitgestorven was, tot ik in de zomer van 1981 in Los Angeles was en daar overal punks tegenkwam, alsof hier sprake was van een massale jeugdbeweging. En omdat zoveel verschijnselen zich vanuit Los Angeles over de hele wereld verspreiden, was ik er als de kippen bij om u te berichten over wat ook u, ouders in Nederland, wat dit betreft nog te wachten zou kunnen staan.
Take off your swastika. It's making me angry. Take off your swastika. It really nauseates me. You say, Phranc, it's just a symbol. It's just an emblem. Come on, don't get so upset. It's just a righteous decoration. Well, it means a little more to me. 'Cause I'm a Jewish lesbian, you see, and fascism isn't anarchy. Fascism isn't anarchy. Fascism is not anarchy. If it was you in those ovens, you wouldn't think it was so cool. If it was you in those ovens, you wouldn't think it was so cool. If it was you in those ovens, you wouldn't think it was so goddamn cool.
Any excuse that anyone gives you for wearing them, that it looks great, that it just looks nice and all that's a pile of crap to me. I mean, they're symbols, and young people today have a lot of energy, and they've got brains too. And they should look at symbols before they attach them to their bodies. And I don't buy any of the crap about swastikas being shock value. If they're wearing them just to make people mad, that's stupid. Half the people that are wearing them that I've talked to don't even know what fascism is. They just wear it because they look cool. I do that song, Take Off Your Swastikas, and there'll be like, sometimes there's like 10 young people in the front with swastikas on giving me the Sieg Heil. And then they all sneak up backstage when their friends aren't looking and say, I really like that song, but don't tell my friends.
Kill.
Waiting
James and Sheen, Johnny Rotten, the inventor more or less of punk, said once that he didn't take punk very seriously. For him it was a joke and nothing else.
I think it's a joke. I do, seriously.
Yeah, I can see that, but to him it was all a money-making thing, you know, because he knew that kids wanted to do something besides what their parents did, which was have long hair and smoke pot all day and go and march against Vietnam and stuff. So I don't know, he's like the father of it, and yeah, it is a joke. I don't know, yeah.
So you seem to take it quite seriously, yeah?
Yeah, well, it's like a lie. It's like what I do, you know, and so it's like you wear the stuff or whatever, and all my friends are into it and everything. Yeah, I guess I do take it kind of seriously. It's a lifestyle.
What's this lifestyle about?
About being a joke, I guess. Yeah, about being a joke.
You're a joke.
He is. I think it's a joke because...
In a sense, it's a joke, but it's not like a funny joke, you know? It's like a joke, like ridiculous, like lame, you know? Like sarcastically, yeah, it's a joke, but as in the funny, you know, it's not, I don't laugh about it. You know what I'm saying?
Can you tell me how you became a punk?
You say it's so cute. Well, I don't know, I've always been really different and everything, but I kind of kept it together. I mean, I had a really, I had a good job, and I had a really nice apartment. I had a nicer apartment compared to even anybody I worked with, you know. And I was making good money, and I had a car, and, technically my life was together, except that I wasn't really happy. I was younger than everybody I worked with. And I had to grow up real fast because I left home when I was 16. And I started meeting more and more people. Like when the Mask and all those places first started and everybody was living at the Canterbury, I knew people there. But it wasn't something that I felt that I could throw everything away for, you know? I mean, I could dress like that, I could cut off all my hair, but it wasn't my life, right? And then I started really hating what I was doing and really liking the people I met. And I just really identified with them. I mean, it wasn't so much where there was a lot of stealing going on, and it wasn't so much I felt that they were better or worse than I was, or, drugs were more available or anything like that. I mean, I would still stay the same person. I still liked to cook and everything and have everybody over. But my life began to really change, and this one girl I know described it this way. She said, the first time she ever came to one of my parties, I came down the stairs and I was dressed in a perfect little costume, and I was just so cute, and my hair was just so cute, and I was young, but I had it really together, more together than anybody else she knew. And she goes, and your apartment was just so beautiful, and she said, boy, I really want to be friends with this girl. And the next party she came to, she said, there you were. She goes, you're the same person. She goes, but you were dressed sort of sloppy, and there was graffiti all over your walls. And then she said, after that, it got steadily worse. And I didn't consider it getting steadily worse. I eventually lost my job because I got really self-destructive. I hated what I was doing. I hated my life. I had the things that people wanted, but I wasn't happy, and I was too young to be doing them. And I wasn't me. I mean, I had to change. I had to be a different person every day. So I lost my job. I was going out 6 nights a week and just hanging out, just doing nothing more than arguing with people and getting drunk and going to shows. And it seemed that seemed to me so much better, because at least people talked to me for real and knew me the way I really was. And I mean, I like sitting around with a bunch of people. I really honestly do like that. And I like doing drugs, and I like getting drunk, and I like, thrift shopping, and I like making fun of trendy people. I mean...
Rachel, can you tell me something about the background of the punk kids?
I'm kind of more of the fifth generation punk, which is going on now. And I wasn't one of the early timers since I've only lived in LA about a year now. Most of the kids here are just into the punk scene they're just bored, they have nothing really else to do. Most of them come from, middle class, upper middle class families. You meet very few, punk kids that their parents are poor. It's mostly out of boredom.
Mm-hmm. They're all coming from rather wealthy families.
Yeah.
And like you.
Yep.
People with a comfortable house and a swimming pool in their backyard, as it is here.
Yep, that's correct.
You think it's boring?
It's very boring. Having everything, there for you. Having your parents pay for your education and having the house and the microwave oven and, the Atari video games and all that. And, I'm just bored with it.
Do you consider yourself to be a spoiled kid?
Not spoiled, but I've got it, I could have it really pretty well off. But I don't choose to have it that way at all.
De buitenwijken van Los Angeles, waar de voornamelijk blanke middelklasse Amerikaan woont, hebben een omvang die vele malen groter is dan Amsterdam, Rotterdam en Den Haag samen. Die verveling van de kinderen kan ik me wel voorstellen. Openbaar vervoer is er niet, de afstanden zijn veel te groot om te lopen of te fietsen. Voor elke verplaatsing heb je de auto van je ouders nodig, die je pas mag berijden als je 16 bent. Eigenlijk verlaat je het kleine gebied van je eigen wijkje zelden of nooit. Behalve om naar school te gaan of naar het winkelcentrum.
There's not too much to do in here because they're so really restrictive and everything.
Restrictive?
They don't to let the little kids, you can't even climb trees and everything. Well, when we were little, we did a lot more than we were supposed to, and then now they crack down, I guess, on the other kids. There's a group of about 10 of us that just did anything we wanted. They couldn't really do anything. But now it got to the point where it's just, it's basically for adults. It'd be fine for an adult to live here, if you're over 35 and just wanted to be laid back, but it's not a very good place for a kid to grow up because there's nothing here to do.
It's a good playground, there's no traffic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a few parks, but the kids used to play baseball and football, and then they didn't like that, so they put trees in the park and stuff. It's really stupid how they're so restrictive with it. You can take this way home. It's but all these places are look the same. It's always so quiet in here and everything now that nobody lives here. Either all my friends either moved out, moved away or something, so I'm the only one that stayed around.
Mm-hmm.
But I just really sleep here, basically. See, it's really a ghost town. There's nothing in here. It's total suburbia type crowd. Now they just put a big parking lot over here. Over the wall. That used to be a big field. When we were younger, we used to go there and play too. But now it's just, you just either stay in the house or go, because it's nothing for my friends and me to do here.
If your kid would be a punk, would it worry you?
No, because I think the attitude's right. But I mean, by the time if I had kids, I mean, I don't know what. I mean, they'd probably be a lot worse things than punk or something like that. Because the way the world's going now, I don't know. I mean, punks feel this way about the world now. I guess the world's going downhill, so by the time I had kids, they'd probably be carrying guns or something.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You think the world is declining?
Pretty much.
Yeah. And being a punk is one sign of it.
Not being a sign of declining, but like, I don't know, just more like ready for it, because like we're not living in a stupid fantasy of fancy cars and everything. And just like trying to pretend it's not there, because it is there. We face more reality, I think, than normal people.
Mm-hmm. So maybe the world will improve because...
It might. I don't know how, but...
Because you're
I mean, I don't think...
more sense of reality than...
Right, I mean, I don't think it'll, like, blow up or something, but I mean, the way it is just... I mean, the way the inflation and everything, I mean, there'll either be a depression or a war or something.
So this is the place where you live?
Yeah.
After you left your parents' house?
No, I've lived in about 8 other places since I left my parents' house.
Mm-hmm. And these are the people with who you're living with at the moment?
Yeah, these and a few other people.
What's your age?
17. I just turned 17.
Yeah. And you ran away from home?
Yeah, it was kind of a kidnapping. Well, I was having a lot of trouble with my grandparents. Like hassles about school, of course. Drug problem. Alcohol problem. Smoking problem. Usual.
Did your grandparents had a problem?
No,
drug problem?
I did. A friend of mine, like wanted to take me up to LA, and we like tried to talk to him, but they didn't seem to understand. So I just pretended I was going to go to a baseball game and never went back.
You never went back?
I don't know. I really don't care for them. I don't care for their religion. I don't care for them. Period. That's about it. It's just. It's a waste of time, really.
What's a waste of time? I couldn't follow.
Certain religions, school.
Yeah.
Grandparents.
And parents?
Parents are gone, so I have to worry about grandparents.
Yeah. And you think it's stupid, all those?
It's not really stupid. It's just well, to put it kind of blunt, it's boring. It's not stupid. It's just boring.
Mm-hmm. And what's the exciting thing of?
Trying to live on your own. You know, like on the streets or with friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's not exciting, but it's a little more challenging.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Well, living in a nice home, getting everything you want, it tends to spoil people a lot. You know, if you have everything you want, you grow up to be rotten. Because if you learn, you'll have a lot better life, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what I think.
So the lifestyle has something to do with making things more difficult than they
right, more difficult than
would be on other ways. Can you follow me? It's like in horse races, the good horses get a handicap, and It's about the same what you're doing with life.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah? So what handicaps do you give yourself?
I don't eat. That's about it. It's hard to find a place to stay.
You had some French fries today.
I know, I had some French fries today. Oh, wow. It's, trying to find a place to stay. Trying to stay alive.
How do you stay alive?
Well, if I have to, I panhandle.
What? Panhandle?
Panhandle, well, this is a real blunt way of putting it, beg for money. I really don't care to do it, but in dire need, I need to.
Like,
set yourself up that way.
When I first moved to LA, I was just having such a blast, and I mean, it was really, you know, self-destructive. It was, like we say, handicap. I mean, within 3 months, I broke my arm twice from fighting. I had 6 black eyes. Just like fighting all the time. That was one of my handicaps when I first, moved here, because I didn't know that many people, and me and Maggie were always getting in fights with people, even though she knew a lot of people, but she's like...
She didn't like them.
Maggie can be really,
never get in fights.
Maggie can be really mean. But other handicaps are just like smoking a lot, not eating properly, just stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Wearing dirty clothes. Nothing too bad.
Not sleeping in a bed.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Having to wash your hair with dishwashing soap.
Yep.
Not having toilet paper.
No toilet.
Not having
pants.
Not having dishes. Like, there was a point when I only had 1 pair of shoes, and they had holes in them, and they were a pair of army boots that were too big for me. And I looked really funny, and people would call me olive oil because my feet were so big.
About 14 days, I could have been gone for more. Really upset the fair, walk my line on the floor. I'm not what I be. I'm only what you see. How long it takes on. How long it takes on. I made lots of friends, I know I need the rest. So sleeping don't bring me fit, let's share it back. I'm all I wanna be. Only what you say. How long it takes on. How long it takes on. Air consumption. Ready living. But Dr. T thinks I'm very ill. He says I go crazy. I take no fucking pill. Suck me. I sit on a pedestal. Waking me so new. Why so poor? A day is on his Kanye. Social, ratty living, all on the daily zone, all on the daily zone. All on that telephone, I should blow with someone you won't have a chance. Waiting on the bed.
I would never like push anybody around. I always stayed off the dance floor and stuff because a couple of times I got hurt really badly, and I knew it was my own fault. I couldn't be mad at any particular person. It was my own fault that it happened, because people were just knocking each other around, and I started knocking back, and it wasn't worth it to me in the end. I see to a lot of those kids, it's still worth it to do that. It's not to me. I was bruised, like badly, and I didn't want to go through it.
I noticed quite some let's call it self-destructional forces with punk kids?
Yeah, I guess they are. I've been referred to as being like a lot self-destructive, and I've been put down by those same people for being self-destructive. But so when I look at them, and I know that I can like pinpoint it and say that's what they're doing, it's really odd because you know, they would get mad at me for like getting too drunk and driving too fast or something, and for them, you know, they can walk into walls and, you know, cut up their arms and stuff, and it's not the same thing. You know, I mean, would it have been cooler had I, like, you know, written things which I have done also, you know? I don't know. I guess it is. It's sort of self-destruction is kind of just a means of showing that if you're cutting up your body or whatever you're doing, it's sort of marking it as it's your own. It's one thing that you can call completely and totally your own. And, you know, it's like so much of people's identity is being taken away. Like a lot, even being a punk, a lot of that's a sameness. But you still need a personal identity. Do you know what I mean? And like where everybody's coming from is they're just seeing the same thing happening to them that's happened to their parents, and the same, I don't know, sort of wasted life, you know. And so they claim something as their own, and they can always, their body is always their own. They can always mark on that or cut on that or like push up against somebody or shave their heads or, you know, color their hair or whatever, you know. It's a mark of this is my body, you know.
I know I don't want to grow up. What's there to grow up to, you know?
I really don't want to end up like most of those people going to work 9 to 5 and looking horrible all day and working in an office. Come now. That would be quite boring.
Working like my
That is self-destructive.
So you take drugs?
Occasionally.
Yeah. What kind?
Anything I can get my little paws on.
What?
Anything I can get my little paws on. Hands, paws.
Like?
Anything from uppers to downers, speed junk, anything.
Up, down, sideways.
I prefer hallucinogenics.
What's that?
Acid, mescaline.
LSD.
It's not as good as it used to be, but it still does the job.
Makes you laugh.
I like to laugh. I like to be a little kid. It's lots of fun.
You like to be a little kid? Yeah.
Of course. It's more fun than being grown up. Having a serious life, it's too straight. You don't have any fun.
If I grow older, I think I'll just like still act like a little kid, just to have fun.
But when you're old and you act like a little kid, then
when I'm
people
80
think you're a total
80
freak.
years old, I'll probably be hanging out with teenagers.
I'm not gonna be.
Definitely not. I'm not going to grow up to be old.
But
I may look it, but I won't be it.
It isn't necessarily boring to grow up, I think. Or do you think it is?
Yeah, it's boring.
Yeah, in certain ways.
It's not my parents are, and like my mom sells Tupperware, and that's definitely. I mean, I don't want to sell Tupperware. And a lot of kids do turn out like their parents, but not the kids here.
I'm turning out just like my parents.
I'm in double with backwards, they cut off and put me away. Give me your hand, give me your mind, give me this, give me that, yeah. Give me it, now, give me it.
Who of you knew Darby Crash? All of you, yeah? What kind of guy was he?
I looked up to him. Thought he was a genius. I thought he was real smart. Everything he said to me, I thought was
pretty intelligent, except sometimes when he was all wasted, he was just utter bullshit. But I thought he was a pretty smart guy, and I thought he just, like, let his life go to waste just by killing himself. Just kind of selfish in a way, but...
Very selfish.
There's no idols, as far as I'm concerned, in punk rock, you know, and there's no... In the LA scene, there's been a lot of talented musicians, but Darby was someone who people looked up to and he started trends, and he was real... People really looked up to him in the fact that he was so talented in the music he did, and it is a shame, you know, because he was really cool. He was a little bit too much into drugs, but then everybody is, you know. He's just like one-of-a-kind person, someone you'll never meet again. There's no one that could be like him at all, you know.
I don't think he let people get too close to him, though.
Yeah,
because I think he knew that he wanted to kill himself. I don't know, but I don't think he let people get too close to him.
He didn't want people to like him too much, or they get too attached, because he knew what he was going to do, supposedly.
Yeah. Darby and I were like, we were really close friends, and we were really, really close. Darby, the best way to put it is that Darby protected me more than anybody else ever has in my life, and more than he ever did for anybody. Most of the time, it was like girls always protecting him. Oh, no, Darby, you can't have that knife. Oh, no, Darby, you can't do this. Oh, no, Darby, you should never own a motorcycle. Oh, no, Darby, you're going to come with me right now, you know? And I never did that. I was more like, he didn't tell me what to do because he felt I was really intelligent. He just sort of made sure nothing happened to me. He, one time we were walking into the Starwood and this girl said something, and it was like so like, I don't pay any attention to what people say anymore. And he was like a few steps behind me, and I got up to the door and I said, where the hell, you know, he comes running up and he goes, where were you? And I go, well, what do you mean, where was I? He goes, I just hit this girl for you. And I go, what'd you do that for? And he goes, well, she said something about you. And I said, well, what did she say? And he goes, I don't know. she just said something, so I went back and hit her. I went, God, would you just, that's a little embarrassing, you know, don't do that. But he was really good to me. It was after the Germs played the last time. I mean, all the people that I've gone out with and hung around with and everything, what happened was, I was in the dressing room. First, they weren't going to let me in. And I said, what are you going to do, leave me standing out here alone? I really am with Darby. And I went in, and I was sitting in the back of the room, and he just, like, opened the door really fast. And in front of all these people, he goes, Casey, where's Casey? Where is she right now? And I said, right here. And he, like, threw his arms around me and kissed me. And he said, don't worry, I've got drugs. And here's the money. Go, you know, divide it. And he trusted me that way, you know. He like, really believed in me. And, it was something, we had the same kind of mood swings. We would, like, if we were drinking, we'd forget the same things, and we'd remember the same things, and it was really a joke, you know. It was a joke at the time, the fact that we, you know, both went up and down at the same time. But that was also what was to hurt us. And we'd been, like, kidding around about it. You know, we always did, about, you know, how we would kill ourselves and, you know, stuff like that. And then the time came, and we did it, and he died. There are a lot more details. You know, he died, but I didn't. I mean, I did technically die for about 3 minutes. I think 2.5, 3 minutes. I read the police report. And for me, it was really hard because, see, a lot of people said the general feeling was that Darby didn't mean for me to die. And he didn't mean for me to die, and that he did it on purpose and stuff like that, which is untrue. He did mean for me to die because I was dead for a few minutes. We'd worked out already that the drugs moved slower through my veins because we'd done drugs and we'd known what was going on. And
I don't understand why you both did decide to die.
We talked about suicide before, and we talked about committing suicide together before, but not in a serious way. But a lot of stuff you say isn't exactly always in like a heavy, serious, you know, in bed kind of conversation. Some of it's just a conversation, and we both just looked at each other, and the night was just like so. It was just such a bad night, and once we left, we told people we're gonna go kill ourselves, you know. That's it. We said it like nobody believed us, you know, but once that had been done, we were just like, you know, going, and we got started, and we were doing it. And people really have doubts about the fact of whether, you know, we really thought we were gonna die. People will swear to me that Darby doesn't think he was gonna die, and I know for a fact that he wanted to die. You know, he wrote a suicide note thinking he was going to die. He knew how much drugs he was doing, and he did think he was going to die. And he did also think that I was going to die.
Your world's coming now. Close the bottom, close it down. Your world's coming now. Drag me down to the underground. Into apocalypse, I want to catch a glimpse. Just another broken egg. My world's blown away. Do you feel it? I don't know what I want now. I want a beer and I want it bad. I want a beer.
I had to realize, like, I woke up in the arms of a dead man. A lot of people like have this thing about how he laid himself out like a cross, which he didn't. His arms were around me, you know, and it's like, it's a very frightening feeling if that's the way you wake up, and that's the one person who's like, you know, loves you, you know. It's like it was very, very hard for me, and I'm still getting over it. The hardest thing is not having the support of your friends, I guess. I have to pull myself together, not anybody else can. And somebody, you know, they ask me all the time about wanting to die, and I can honestly say there's not a moment that I'm awake, and there's not a moment that I know when I'm going on that I don't wish that I had died that night, you know. But since I didn't, I'm not going to sit alone in my room and cry about it.
Waiting for me. I know who you are. Waiting for me. We planned to be together. It would have been forever. Who's to blame now? I don't know. I know it. I'm alone now. Waiting for me. I know who you are. Waiting for me. I know you are there. Waiting for me. With me now. No one knows but us. Your hand waiting to take mine. Go to let you rest. Waiting for me. I know you are there. Waiting for me. I now know you're there. Waiting for me. Late at night I hear you calling. I know you're still there. Waiting for me. I'll get there. Waiting for me. Somewhere, somehow. Waiting for me. Knowing you're there. Waiting for me. Will keep me going. Waiting for me. Until the very end. Very end. Waiting for me. Very end. Waiting for me.
recently, friends have been departing permanently. I plan to stick around, you see. I'm a life lover, that's me. Yes, recently, friends have been departing permanently. I plan to stick around, you see. I'm a life lover, that's me. Now all my parts work, my eyes and my nose, my hands and my fingers and my arms and my toes, and it makes me love life. Oh yes it does. I'm not gonna go away, I'm here to stay, 'cause recently friends have been disappearing mysteriously. But not me, I plan to stick around, you see. I'm a life lover, that's me. Oh yeah. Now it hasn't always been easy. Sometimes I get real depressed too. But I decided to stay here, and if I can do it, even you can do it too. 'Cause recently, friends have been departing permanently. I plan to stick around, you see. I'm a life lover, that's me. Uh-huh. I'm a life lover, that's me. Oh yeah, Phranc's a life lover, that's me. Stick around.
James and Sheen, Johnny Rotten, the inventor more or less of punk, said once that he didn't take punk very seriously. For him it was a joke and nothing else.
I think it's a joke. I do, seriously.
Okay, Venus, what's your age?
I'm 8 years old.
8 years old. And what does it mean for you being a punk?
What?
What does it mean to be a punk?
I don't know.
No?
I just like it. I like the music, I like the rhythm.
You like that?
Uh-huh.
You like being a punk, eh?
Do you like being a punk?
Yeah, it's fun to be, even though everybody makes fun of me at school.
Real blood coming from my nose right here, right here. This is genuine blood. Anyway, I appreciate it. Only broken.
Eigenlijk dacht ik dat het verschijnsel punk alweer bijna uitgestorven was, tot ik in de zomer van 1981 in Los Angeles was en daar overal punks tegenkwam, alsof hier sprake was van een massale jeugdbeweging.
Any excuse that anyone gives you for wearing them, that it looks great, that it just looks nice, no, that's a pile of crap to me. I mean, they're symbols, and young people today have a lot of energy, and they've got brains too. And they should look at symbols before they attach them to their bodies. And I don't buy any of the crap about swastikas being shock value. If they're wearing them just to make people mad, that's stupid. Half the people that are wearing them that I've talked to don't even know what fascism is. They just wear it because they look cool. I do that song, Take Off Your Swastikas, and there'll be like, sometimes there's like 10 young people in the front with swastikas on giving me the Sieg Heil. And then they all sneak up backstage when their friends aren't looking and say, I really like that song, but don't tell my friends.
Kill.
En omdat zoveel verschijnselen zich vanuit Los Angeles over de hele wereld verspreiden, was ik er als de kippen bij om u te berichten over wat ook u, ouders in Nederland, wat dit betreft nog te wachten zou kunnen staan.
Take off your swastika. It's making me angry. Take off your swastika. It really nauseates me. You say, Phranc, it's just a symbol. It's just an emblem. Come on, don't get so upset. It's just a righteous decoration. Well, it means a little more to me. 'Cause I'm a Jewish lesbian, you see, and fascism isn't anarchy. Fascism isn't anarchy. Fascism is not anarchy. If it was you in those ovens, you wouldn't think it was so cool. If it was you in those ovens, you wouldn't think it was so cool. If it was you in those ovens, you wouldn't think